got him. He sloshed that bait.
He's not a giant bass, but he is, however, a nice bass. Look at that. Talk about swallowing it. The Rio Rico strikes again, huh, bud? We just got out here. I'll tell you what, we had just pulled out. We're out here at Bartlett Lake, folks, and it's a beautiful morning, fall morning. Not a big fish, but maybe if I hold him closer to the camera, he's bigger. He sloshed that bait, man. I'm throwing my bait, which is called Johnny's Formula, made by Labina Lures. It's the Rio Rico. You can buy it in the Rico as well. I like the bigger one for long cast. I'm throwing a 17-pound test monofilament line. Now, if you use the regular Rico, you can get by with 12 monofilament, and you could get, 14, 12, something like that. I like to use the 17 on the bigger Rio Rico. The reason why I decided to go to this bait is so funny, because we pulled up to the dock and I'm looking down in there, barely see, and I see a bunch of these little tiny bluegill, that big. And I'm like, whoo, I'm gonna try my bait and see if they're feeding on some of them. But so I pulled this out. I thought, let's go down the bank and see what we can't do. And that's what we're doing. This little area that we're in is towards the back of a pocket. Is a really good looking area for where fish would round up them shad or bait. This is the time of year that topwater really is a lot of fun and can be a lot of fun. But make no mistake, this is also a great jig, spinner bait, drop shot lake. It's a lot of fun. This lake's always kind of reminded me of the old Roosevelt. You just catch a lot of fish. I haven't ever caught a whole lot of size off of it. But from what I hear, from what I gather, some of these guys are catching some 3-pounders out of here now. It's getting there. So hopefully we'll catch something like that today. I don't get down here much. So basically for me, I'm gonna go by seasonal type patterns and just kind of play it by ear, try to find us a little pattern to catch some fish and go from there. Oh! Just like that, folks. Another little topwater bass. He clobbered that thing. They're definitely clobbering it. Look, he hit it like he was a 2-pounder. Look at that. He hit it like it was a 2-pounder. He's just a little guy. I will say this. These Rio Ricos come with some really nice hooks. And in saying that, you gotta be really careful about handling these fish with all them hooks in their face. Well, come on, you're barely hooked in there. There we go. He's just a baby. We'll let him go. He clobbered it like he was 2 pounds. You know, the other thing I love about throwing this bait is you can throw different cadences. You know, if you're in an area like at home, I don't have shad, so a lot of times you throw the bait out there, you let it sit there, wait for the rings to disappear and pop it. But with these lakes with shad and all that going on, a lot of times I like to kind of work it a little bit faster, just chug, 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 you know, and keep it coming towards you a little bit, make it look like an injured fish or something like that. And you can see how I'm working it. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, something like that. 1, 2, 3. I never keep everything the same. I like the erratic motion that you can get out of throwing these type of baits. But the one thing that I think a lot of people make a mistake with, and I've noticed this when I do the guide trips through the Arizona fishing guides, is they pop the bait too hard. This is a bait, believe it or not. I use a 7.5-foot medium action rod. It's got a real flimsy tip on it. So when the fish hits, you know, I've got a good backbone, but the bait has a chance to get 8. And that way, if you're a little overzealous with setting the hook, but I want to have something with a good tip on it. And of course, I'm using a Johnny Moore Signature Series reel. This is the actual Johnny Moore Signature Series rod, and it works great. But like I said, a lot of times they play too hard with it. And what I mean by that is they'll take and I'll say, okay, you got to pop it, and they'll pop it like that, and they'll make a big old spray. You know, when the fish is real aggressive, that's good. Watch the spray this thing gets. I mean, if I want to pop it really good, it'll spray. See how it throws little droplets up in front of it? Now, when they're chasing shad, nothing wrong with that, because you want that thing to spit up there like it's coming after something, you know? But if you don't see all that kind of action on the water, you see that it's calm like this, a lot of times I'll start my cadence with just throwing it out there. I'll throw it out there, get as close to the bank as you can, and then what I'm gonna do is just start kind of twitching it real soft twitches, almost like trying to walk a Zura spook or something like that.
There's one. Nice fish. Crankbait fish. Are you kidding me? I gotta hold on to this one. They're precious right now. Don't you come up. Oh, that's a good fish. Oh, that's a monster, folks. A monster. Look at the size of that fish. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about, son. That's what I'm talking about. Little crankbait bass. Oh my goodness. It got slow for a while. I'm like, we have got to figure these fish out. They got to be around here somewhere. I gotta get the pliers on that one. Little tiny hooks. I was just trying to match the hatch a little bit in this dirty water. Look at this fish. I gotta back off. Look at this fish. That's a beautiful Bartlett Lake bass right there. Just gorgeous. Oh my goodness, folks. That's what you're looking for when you're coming out here right there. I'll tell you what happened today. It's been tough. I have lost. Let's let this fish loose. Oh my goodness. All right. I came all the way back up into the river, where a lot of folks probably wouldn't come because it's so shallow. But there was a drop off, 17-foot drop off as I came around. We were in 9, 8, 7, 10, and then it dropped off to 17 foot. Now we're in this little pocket, but it's our first bass on this crankbait. But I'll tell you, I just tried to match the hatch a little bit, like I said. Get something small, like this is a little Bill Dance, believe it or not, crankbait that I happened to have in. I wanted something bright and white, baby. Match that hatch, had a little silver in it, but it goes down probably about 6 feet or something like that. And it'll be perfect for this kind of fishing. But I lost 4 bass on the main lake around the dam area. I went to drop shots because the fishing got tough. The topwater bite was fun, it was quick, and it was over. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It's typical summer going into fall though. It's what these fish do sometimes on these lakes, and you gotta try to muscle through it. But after losing 4 fish, I was about ready to pack up and go home. They were good fish on a drop shot. I went to the drop shot, something I felt comfortable in. I finally said, we gotta just change everything we're doing and try something different. You know, I'm trying my best to match the hatch, and as you can see, I'm pointing right here at one of them little dead shad, but see how little my bait is? My bait's about the same size. And with that being about the same size as that, and I'll just put it down here, look at that shad. He's about the same size as my crankbait. So that's what I was wanting to do, was find something I could kind of match the hatch with, something about the same size that these bass will eat. And one thing cool about muddier water, I'm not a fan of real heavy muddy water, but it pushes the fish shallower. I like that about it. And I also like the fact that the fish have to make the decision of whether they're gonna bite your bait on the spot or not. So, I mean, a lot of times they'll just reach right out there and grab it instead of just following it and looking at it. So those little those little key tips right there help me a lot when I'm in muddy water to try to fish this stuff, but you gotta fish it. You gotta know how to fish it. Hey folks, for my tip of the week, I think one thing that's very important when you go buy crankbaits, if you buy the real expensive crankbaits, a lot of times they come with really good hooks. But in saying that, you always want to make sure that you pick up spare hooks. And if you don't get crankbaits that have good hooks on them, then you want to replace the hooks with good hooks. And good treble hooks, stay with the same standard size that they come with, because that's how they're balanced to run. Now, unless you're a professional that's tested these things, like a tournament fisherman that understands where to put the bigger hook, maybe a little bit bigger size, and he understands how it's working and things like that. If you're just gonna throw the bait the way it is, just go buy the same size hooks that come with the bait, but just make sure you get the good ones. And I'll tell you what, it'll save you a lot of grief of losing any kind of fish if you put good hooks on your crankbaits and your topwaters. And I will say this, the Rio Rico, the Rico, they come with great hooks. But like I said, any topwater, any crankbait, anything that's got a treble hook on it, replace it if it doesn't have a good hook. Got him. We got that one. He doesn't feel as big as the other one. Did I lose him? Nope, he's here. Oh, he's still a pretty good sized fish. Oh, yeah! Little fat-free shad. There you go. On that crankbait, just right around the corner from that other one. They're on these rocks. They're either chasing shad or something. And I found the perfect little bait for them. This is a fat-free crankbait, is what it is. A little fat-free by Bill Dance. It's that white one. Now here's the deal. You can find a lot of baits, but it's about, you know, find something white like this, but see how little that bill is? I just have a little bill here. It's not a square bill. It's a full-size rounded bill, but it only goes down about 6 feet. It's perfect for the shallow water back here. I'm throwing a 4.2 to 1 gear ratio reel. Something slow. You know, even though I'm reeling like this, it's coming across the water pretty slow. And the thing is what helps you there is when you are in this dirty water, you know, it gives it a chance to give it a good wobble, wake some water, and the fish to zone in on it and hit it. There he is, behind that weed. I just hope I got him. I can get him out of the, that's not a bad fish. Oh, I don't know how well I got him hooked. Got him. I'm telling you folks, that crankbait gets him. He was behind the trees there. Not a big fish, but a fun fish. Just going down the bank, covering water. And a lot of times when they're chasing shad, that's about all you can do is just go down the bank and cover water with one of your favorite baits. The crankbait. You know what's funny is I've had 1,000,002 people ask me over the years, what's your favorite bait? And I give the same answer every time. The one that's catching the fish. That's my favorite bait. Oh, I love catching fish. There ain't nothing more fun. Finding them in the brush, we're finding them on the rock. That's the cool thing about summer and fall is a lot of times what happens is these fish just start chasing shad and they'll follow them. And so a lot of times, 1 minute they're around rock, the next minute they're around the trees and the timber and the, you know, 1 minute they're on flats, the next minute they're out deep and you're spooning them. It's crazy. But there is one thing that we can pretty much all agree on, I think, and it seems like there always seems to be a mid-morning blues. I'll tell you what, fighting through that mentally is tough, whether you're in a tournament or doing a fishing show or those mid-morning blues. You just got to keep your thinking cap on and keep trying different things. Couple of things to remember about crankbaiting in this shallow water when you're hitting bottom quite a bit and you're digging up bottom. First and foremost, you always want to check your knot. always catch a couple fish, get hung up, whatever. Always check your knot. And it's not so much the knot you gotta worry about, it's the line right above it. Because as this bait is actually going over the top of things, your line is ricocheting off of it as well. So any sharp rocks, any objects like that, it'll tear your line up right here. So you wanna be sure that you constantly retie, even if you don't like to. And don't use a swivel. You retie direct to the O-ring that's on there, okay? The other thing to remember is that when you catch a fish, try to remember the cadence that you were throwing. In other words, were you just reeling slow? Was it just cranking slow? Did I stop it? Did I pause it? Did I twitch it? You know, whatever you did I speed the retrieve up? Try to remember what you did and copy that, and that might help you catch that next bass and get you on a little bit of a pattern of what the cadence that they're hitting on. So, you know, a lot of times in clear water, I'm using it like a jerk bait sometimes, and I'm catching them. But, you know, what I'm doing in here is just basically a slow roll. So I'm just going to keep that slow roll going. We've caught 2 fish already, and I want to make sure I keep that going. The other thing is remember that the depth of your lure, there's a fish. Oh, there's a good fish right there. Oh, I got him in the cheek and in the mouth. Oh, I barely got him hooked. He come in. As I was talking. Can you believe that? I think what I was saying though, before we got rudely interrupted by that fish is the line size that you use for your crankbait is gonna determine the depth of water that it's gonna run. And what I mean by that is, if you're using a big, thick 14, 17 pound test line with that little bait, it ain't gonna go very deep, okay? So if you use a thinner line, thinner diameter line, like a 10, now you're talking. You know, for something that small, 10 pound line, 12 pound line, some guys go to 8 pound line on something real small, but I'm digging up the bottom pretty good here, and I'm using a bait casting reel outfit, so I want to definitely use at least 10. Oh, good fish. I barely got that fish hooked. He's on the back hook. Ooh, we got him in. You gotta lock him quick. Folks, I'm gonna tell you something. I've had a superb day considering how bad it was going about 3 hours ago with losing some fish and just trying to hang in there. But nice fish. Grab some crankbaits, some Topwater, and I think the thing to remember today, my lesson for the day was, don't get discouraged if you're not catching anything in the afternoon and you're gonna go through some of those mid-morning blues. You got a good time to eat something, re-energize, think about what you need to do to change what you're doing to go catch those fish. And that's what we did today. You know, I don't come to these lakes to do these shows. I don't actually go out the day before and find these fish. We bring the camera with us. We go out that day that I'm there. So it's not like practicing for a tournament where I have a day and I actually can go out and find some fish. I have to find them on the day that we bring the camera. And sometimes it can be tough, but I hope whatever we've showed you today will help you in your next venture out to Bartlett Lake. I want to thank you for joining me. I'm Johnny Johnson.